Hi, I'm Patrick Barrett. So people often ask me how I came up with the idea of ECAL and calendar marketing. And to understand that, we need to go back to the start. I began my marketing career right here in Melbourne, Australia, but I had an itch to go see the rest of the world. So back in 2001, I moved to London and was lucky enough to land a role at the British Horse Racing Board. I was working on the Discover Racing campaign. This was a £10 million rebranding and repositioning of the sport to attract a younger audience and social groups to the track. So we developed a consumer website to centralise all of the racing information across 60 plus race courses, but there was a major disconnect. We asked people to register online and we would send them a fixed booklet of all the race dates by mail. So think about that. We were driving consumers to the digital world and relying on a postman to get them to the event. It just didn't make sense. So I kept thinking, how can we get those events directly into the user's personal calendar? In 2003, I returned to Melbourne determined to solve the problem. A year later, in 2004, we launched eBird eDiary. It was the first ever app that delivered content-rich events directly into Outlook using PST calendar files. And it was pretty cool for the time. We even had this animated bird fly across the screen and deliver the files. And every event appeared like a mini website in the calendar. There was immediate interest. We sold the service to major sports teams and leagues in Australia and into the US. But there was one important limitation. Those calendar files, they were static. Once you downloaded the schedule, it was unable to update. So if there was an important event change, it wouldn't be reflected in the calendar. You have to remember this time for context. This was the early 2000s. Google had launched in '98, MSN Messenger and Skype were popular. Facebook launched in 2004, and the first iPhone arrived in 2007. With the rise in technology, communications was fragmenting rapidly. At the time, I read an interesting article in Business 2.0 magazine that really stuck with me. It talks about how communications were splitting. Email was for work, text and instant messaging platforms were for fast, rapid communications, and social media platforms were for fun. I realised events naturally belonged in the calendar. And in 2007, there was an important technology shift. All the calendar applications adopted WebCal, CalDAV protocol, which meant that events could dynamically update. I saw a great opportunity to communicate events better. Organisations were still using messy spreadsheets that were prone to error. I knew we needed to develop a dedicated platform to create, manage and market events. So in 2010, I raised some seed capital to build it, and by 2012, ECAL was officially born. Things moved fast. In 2014, I won a national competition called The Big Pitch in Australia with a $4 million investment so we could scale a vision I had back in London. And that's how calendar marketing was created, from mailing fixture booklets to smart, dynamic, digital events delivered straight to calendar.